From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Law enforcement officials and civilians gathered to mourn the loss of 2 uniformed officers today on the 1-year anniversary of their death.
Sergeant Scott Johnson and Trooper Gabe Rich were shot and killed inside the home of Arvin Kangas 1 year ago today in Tanana. Many took to social media to show their support for the families of the 2 slain troopers, and gatherings were held to honor the 2 men. Those who worked with Sergeant Johnson and Trooper Rich say they were outstanding officers and did their job well. Today, the mourners wanted to remember the men those officers were and how they brought troopers across the state together both during their lives and after their deaths.
Hard for a lot of us, and I'm not the only one affected in this. I know that. And you know, each one of them brought a certain sense of pride to our organization, a certain sense of brotherhood, of doing the right things for the right reasons, for the right people. And you know, my heart goes out to the family. It really does. I mean, it's hard for us, but I cannot fathom what they're going through.
A Minto woman convicted of murdering a 26-year-old man was sentenced this afternoon in Fairbanks Superior Court. Stephanie Woodard reports.
He wanted me to get you. His last words were, "Mom, no. Mommy, I want my mom."
Emotional testimony was heard at the sentencing hearing in Superior Court this afternoon for Carlene Charlie of Minto. Charlie is accused of the brutal murder of Jordan Baker. Baker was stabbed over 10 times by Charlie. The minimum she could face was 10 years and the maximum of 99 years in jail. Today, Judge Bethany Harbison sentenced Charlie to 20 years to serve.
You get more sentence for harming an animal than a human being. That is not right. That is not right. What lesson is anybody going to learn from that?
Prosecution alleged that the murder was premeditated and brutal.
Carlene Charlie had formed the idea of killing Jordan Baker at an earlier date, and she chose a time to kill Jordan Baker when she could blame someone else.
Another factor in the case was the defendant's struggle with mental illness issues.
And I told you over and over again it was never going to work. There was never going to be a relationship, a family, that your fantasy mind held.
Family members believe the sentence was too lenient and doesn't reflect the crime committed.
This sentencing was just a closure to the process of the crime that she committed. It closes this door. The hurt and pain will always be there.
This is Stephanie Woodard reporting. The State Alcohol Beverage Control Board has revealed proposed statewide marijuana regulations as it works towards the November deadline to have such regs in place. One draft regulation allows for communities to prohibit or limit certain types of marijuana establishments. Fairbanks North Star Borough Mayor Luke Hopkins' office is crafting an ordinance to deal with zoning regulations for local marijuana cultivation and retail establishments. 42 people responded to a survey on what type of buffer should be in place to keep marijuana businesses away from places such as schools, churches, and daycare centers. Fairbanks Mayor John Eberhard is concerned that the city could be zoned out of allowing marijuana businesses if too many buffer zones are put into place. Mayor Hopkins favors starting with federally established buffer zones.
Federal regulations should give us some nature of what the buffers ought to be. When we start adding all the other buffers that could be, as we see it, it starts blanking out many, many areas. And again, maybe the downtown, in the metropolitan area of Fairbanks, they only want to go with the federal.
When we come back, Golden Valley Electric Association is continually looking for ways to save costs for their members. We'll show you their latest idea.
Also, today is another opportunity for local artists to display their work with the First Friday celebration. We'll share some of those presentations with you. These stories and more when we return.
Welcome back to the Fbx Evening News. Governor Bill Walker was scheduled to speak at a public lecture in the Scheibel Auditorium on the UAF campus at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Now, it was announced at 9 o'clock last night that the lecture had been canceled. Walker yesterday expressed displeasure in the legislature's vote to recess. Both the House and Senate passed concurrent resolutions allowing full memberships to recess for more than 3 days. They are scheduled to be back in Juneau on May 12th. This action came after Walker convened a special session of the legislature. Both floors have passed a state operating budget. However, House minority members blocked access to the constitutional budget reserved to fill the $3.5 billion shortfall in the spending plan. Walker says failure to fund a budget could damage the state's bond rating.
We are potentially impacting our credit rating in this state by our inability to access our savings. You know, we went to Wall Street and worked hard to get AAA bond ratings from 3 different agencies, and the reason for that is because our reserve funds are all self-limited as far as our access to them. And what we're seeing now play out is that we are having a very difficult time accessing them just to provide to us a fully funded budget.
Golden Valley Electric Association held its annual members meeting Wednesday evening. Monty Bowen reports that members were told about several ways the co-op is trying to reduce costs.
GVEA has found a way to minimize the use of diesel fuel to power their generators.
We use a product called naphtha. It's provided by the Petrostar refinery that actually retooled their facilities somewhat so that they could provide it when Flint Hills shut down.
A major project they are working on is the Healy Power Plant.
That plant is going to start in a test mode in about 30 days. There's a lot of excitement here about that, and we believe it'll be operating on coal about 2 months from now.
They are also waiting to see progress on a natural gas project.
There doesn't seem to be a clear plan as to where this is going to go, and that probably is a frustration.
Bergeson said a very positive note as a new customer Golden Valley has coming online.
It's Clear Air Force Base. We're very excited about that. There's great things potentially going to happen at Clear. They'll, as they come on and bring our load in, it'll spread a lot of more kilowatt hours over and kind of help everybody's bill out. Fuel costs are low right now, so adding them on doesn't add a higher fuel cost. And so that's going to be great for us.
This is Monty Bowen reporting.
Local art is on full display as part of this month's First Friday celebration. Creative events are taking place at a wide array of spots around town, including Creamer's Field, the Morris Thompson Center, Gulliver's Books, and a number of local art galleries. Exhibits range from collages inspired by satellite images to live music and sculptures. Most events began around 5 p.m. but should last for several hours. The 2 Street Gallery is featuring a display called Eyes on Recycling. It showcases found objects that have been transformed into works of art, which often have faces. Hilda Milcure is the local artist behind the creations. She says everyday items often randomly inspire her artistic epiphanies.
I think something in your mind of an artist, you see things around you that are not necessarily made. You find them naturally, or they're stray items, and that just called me. Do something with me.
All right, Joe Cook is up next, and he has a lot of high school sports for us today.
All right, stick around for that. Plus, the play of the week after the break.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here to get your weekend started right with the Friday Sportscast. Today, the high school track and field teams came to Lathrop High School for the first local track meet of the season. 1 through 3A and 4A teams participated in long jumps, high jumps, triple jumps, discus shot put today. Teams will compete on Saturday as well. In the 3,200 meter races, West Valley, they swept the top spots in the girls race. Jen DeFalco came in first with an unofficial time of 11 minutes 42 seconds. In the boys race, Spencer Herron made his move on the final lap, blowing past Colony Knights to finish in 10-10. Tri-Valley and Colony's teams competed today, and that motivated the local athletes.
It was nice. I think it really helped me run a lot faster than I would have normally, and it's good to get the competition because we have a diamond meet next week.
Last lap was tough, and I knew I had them the whole way. I just had to push on the last lap, run fast, and that's what I trained for. Keep it up.
Now high school softball, and the game of the night was between the Lathrop Malamutes and North Pole Patriots. Lathrop was holding on to a 3-2 lead after starting pitcher Kelly Reagan's 3-run homer. In the fourth inning, Reagan tried to close this one out, but in the sixth inning, Kennedy Shamura hit a double to get in scoring position. Then big sister and senior Paige Shamura came to the plate with 2 outs and a full count. In the bottom of the sixth, Paige delivers with a walk-off inside the park home run. North Pole wins their first game of the season in dramatic fashion, 4-3 over Lathrop.
I was just a little nervous, and my sister on base, I was like, yeah, I want to get her in. And the last one, I was really nervous, but it hit this nice part of the bat and it was just gone. I love actually when it's full because it puts a lot on me to do my best. So it felt really good because Lathrop is one of the bigger teams, so it felt good to get a win over them.
The West Valley Wolfpack also got a win in softball last night. It was Hutchison's season opener, but it was the Wolfpack who got off to a great start. West Valley scored 6 runs in the first inning, and they never looked back. Kiara Loom and Kirsten Allen led the offensive attack, and both girls went 3 for 3. Loom finished with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Allen had a double to go along with the ribby and a run score. West Valley wins this one 8-4, and has started their season 2-0. When high school soccer doubleheader between Lathrop and South Anchorage featured a clash of the Titans. Lathrop hasn't lost a regular season game since May of 2013, while South Anchorage, they came in as defending state champions. The Malamutes were on point defensively, not allowing a goal in the first half as South had the wind to their backs. Michaela Triplehorn made a number of nice saves. If anything did get through the Lathrop defense, Carly Fitzgerald, she had a chance, but it was just wide the net in the second half. And this was a physical game too. South was South in the second half. Kayla Sims' header bounced off of Triplehorn's hands to break the scoreless tie. The Wolverines would score 5 unanswered in the second half to win this one 5-0, handing Lathrop their first regular season loss in almost 2 years.
Lathrop, we always know it's going to be competitive and aggressive, so we just want to come out, play our best, and even though it's a non-conference game, you improve every game. So,
we played tough, we played gritty in the first half, kept it zeros. We were really happy about that. It was a loss, but we're going to take away that we had probably one of our better performances today defensively, and that's across the board. So that's good news for us heading into the conference schedule.
The Lathrop boys soccer team was unsuccessful against South as well. The Wolverines won state in 2013. They were 3rd overall just last year. South got to the game late because of a delayed flight, but the game didn't start until a little after 8, and it didn't affect them. They scored 3 times in the first half, and one was on a penalty kick. Lathrop had a chance or 2, but they were unable to convert. Both teams did well defensively in the second half, but the Wolverines were able to get another goal. They go on to win this one 4-0 over Lathrop. In other soccer doubleheader, North Pole, they sweep Hutchison. The Patriots girls win 5-0. 5 different players scored, while Brooke Fisher got the shutout. The Pats are undefeated at 4-0-1 overall and 1-0-1 in the MAC. The boys won 7-3, led by Liam Putman's 2 goals. North Pole boys are also undefeated in MAC play. With a 3-0 record, they are 4-1-1 overall. And in baseball, the Lathrop Malamutes, they downed the North Pole Patriots 14-3. Ryan Perdue, he had a big bat going 3 for 4 with 3 ribbies, a double, and a 2-run inside the park homer. And he also scored 3 times. And Mike Fitzpatrick threw a complete game with 1 earned and 9 Ks. Lathrop is 2-0 in the MAC and 3-1 overall. Lastly, we have this week's play of the week. The top play won by just 1 vote, edging out some very good plays. Allison's Kim Cinco provides us with the play of the week. Cinco's only hit of the game was good for a double and 2 RBIs as the Ravens defeat Hutchinson 16-1 last Saturday. Allison would win game 2 of that doubleheader. Second result 11-4 for the sweep. For the next play of the week, watch for the I-5 interior top 5 plays on the Mondays during the weekend recap. And a final note for golfers, the FGA will have their membership meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock at the Curling Club, and the Fairbanks Golf Course will have temporary greens on Monday. Chena Ben's driving range will be open on Monday as well. But come back tonight for the Sports Nightcap for Ice Dogs playoff highlights and more. Mike Schultz is next with weather, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fbx Evening News for Friday night. Are you ready for the weekend? It's going to be a great one. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about the weather, and I'm talking about some great conditions. We're looking at temperatures in the low 60s starting tomorrow and into Sunday and the first part of the week too. And today we had a lot of high clouds around, which gave us an opportunity to get a halo. A lot of folks sent me a photograph saying this is a sundog, but actually it's a halo because the clouds are so high. A sundog would be with lower clouds reflecting off of the ice crystals. This also reflects off the ice crystals, but at a higher elevation. A nice shot here sent in by Dwight Sneed, and it's the halo around the sun. And we had, like I said, a lot of folks sent me the photograph that seemed happening today. Now, if you have a photograph you want to send in, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Your numbers look like this: 54 for the high today, currently 54. The low last night, 35. Record high, 76 in 2009. Record low, 4 in 1937. Sunrise and sunset, 17 hours and 9 minutes of glorious sunshine. That's a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. On the map, not a whole lot going on. As you can see, everything is just about cleared out. Just a few isolated showers hanging around the upper elevations of the mountains, the Chugach Range there, and that's about it. In the interior, things look really good. On the map today, again over southeast Alaska, even the rains have, for the most part, eased up a little bit around the Ketchikan area, 47 degrees, a few sprinkles, just a few sprinkles also at Juneau's, 48 degrees. Anchorage, not too bad, 53. They had a few light showers in the area. Kodiak at 46, Cold Bay 43, and cloudy skies up around Nome. A little chilly, 28 degrees there, 17 at Barrow, and Fort Yukon at 46. Lower 48 weather, once again, warm temperatures are the key factor. 101 degrees at Phoenix, 96 in Las Vegas. Not quite as warm as it was in San Francisco yesterday. Not a bad day in Seattle. A little cooler around Denver. Pretty good around Dallas, 82 degrees. Minneapolis looking at 66. And around the Bayou country, New Orleans, 82 degrees. Miami, 84. And New York, a little cooler, 59 degrees. On the satellite and radar, you see a little band of showers and thunderstorms moving through, but got to keep an eye on this area here. This is what's going to start to develop over the weekend, and that's going to become a little bit of more of a weather maker. As you can see, we got a little contrast in the frontal system here, the cool air coming in from the north, the warm, humid air from the south, and those two of those clashing together are going to kick off the fireworks for the folks there. And early next week, as you can see, the jet stream, the northerly jet stream, will be combining with the southerly jet stream, and that once again will bring a lot of activity to much of the nation's midsection, moving to the eastern half of the country. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Flurries and fog for Barrow. Cloudy skies at Nome, mostly sunny skies at Fort Yukon. And in the interior, we're looking at, for the most part, isolated rain and snow showers in Healy, then mostly sunny skies for Delta, Junction, and Fairbanks. Over the southeast, again, some rain in the picture. Scattered showers for Juneau, but showers are more likely in the Ketchikan area. While over to the southwest, it looks like scattered showers for Cold Bay, rain in Kodiak, and rain and snow possible for Bethel. And if you're heading down to the Anchorage Bowl this weekend, not too bad. Mostly sunny skies at Anchorage and Valdez, and partly cloudy skies at Homer. All right, here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. Looks like going to be a pretty nice night. And there's no kids weather watch. Actually, next week we will be talking more about the kids from going to Joy Elementary School. We'll be talking with those kids. There we are, right there. All right, now as far as what's going on for our forecast, 34 the overnight low, high clouds, otherwise a nice evening and cool temperatures. Tomorrow's forecast, very nice, more sunshine by afternoon and warmer than it was today. And it gets even better for Sunday, low 60s. That will continue for Monday, and then a little bit of a cooler temperature for Tuesday, then warm back up again in the low 60s once again. Overnight lows will also be very comfortable in the mid-30s to upper 30s, and no precipitation in the forecast for the 5-day period. So all in all, great weather.
Great weather.
Yeah, perfect
it.
weather for the weekend too, and all the weekend sports out there. So, or just getting out and getting your lawn prepped and cleaned and all sorts of stuff.
Getting your car washed.
All right, why do you keep hinting at that for me? I'm not going to do it.
The thing is, you have a nice car.
I'm
you need
not
to treat
gonna
it
do
nice.
it.
You need to treat it really.
I know, but
start a fundraiser for you.
I'm going to go out there and put wash.
You guys want to wash it for me? I will not doubt that.
Mm-hmm.
I will not give that up.
Okay.
You can wash it, you can wax it,
okay,
and I'll drive it.
Got it. Okay. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fbx Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Before we leave you tonight, it's time for our Watch and Win contest. That's right.
That's right. KTVF and Bailey's Furniture are teaming up for a Spring Dream giveaway where you can win a furniture package from Bailey's valued at $2,500.
Tune into the Fairbanks Evening News and News Center Final on KTVF Channel 11 from April 30th to the 24th of May for the first half of a mystery word. Who's going to take it? Why don't you take it?
Then visit Bailey's Furniture for the second half and complete your entry for your chance to win. This week's mystery word is coffee.
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 All right, cafe.
Yeah,
All
right. I see what it says.
Don't say
Stephanie.
cafe, say
It says
coffee.
Stephanie on the, you're supposed to read.
Right. A reminder to tune in tomorrow night for the Interior's only weekend newscast and sportscast at 6 and 11 p.m.
All right, and be sure to join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com or Facebook or anywhere else you can find
From all of us here at the News Center, have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here at 11.